verge of winning his second NBA.
Steven, you're not slick, my boy. You're not slick, my boy. I see what you did. You got a hair transplant, my nigga, because your hairline. I've never seen your hairline look this good ever since I've known you. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching Stephen A. for like since I was a kid. I'm 27 now. My nigga, you definitely got some type of work done on your hair, bro. Look at this, bro. I mean, it's still far back. It's still far back, but it's sharp, my nigga. I don't know, either you switch barbers or he put some type of enhancement on your shit, but it's still far back, but it's looking good, my boy. It's looking good. If you could just get the surgeon to make your hairline, you see where the mouse is? Your shit need to come right here. If you can make that shit come right here, bro, you'll look probably about 10, 20 years younger, my nigga. You dig what I'm saying? But it's looking good for your age, bro. Pause.
Championship, by the way, which is an incredible story within itself. But anyway, the topic that I'm about to get into is a bit personal. It involves Kenny, my brother, my boy. Kenny Smith and I go back decades. His brother, Vincent Smith, used to train me. Lost Battalion Hall, Queens, New York, all of that stuff. I got a scholarship, basketball scholarship, because of Vincent Smith. Love him to death. But Kenny Smith and I go back that long. Last night, the TNT crew was discussing the evolution of Kyrie Irving this postseason. Because Kyrie Irving obviously has gone through so much, being accused of anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic remarks just because he retweeted something and stuff like that, getting suspended, having to deal with some of the things he's had to deal with, the whole COVID thing, and not wanting to play, not wanting to take the vaccine, and all of this other stuff, ultimately missing an abundance of games. And, obviously things going south in Brooklyn with him, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. You look at those situations and you just found yourself saying, damn, this is a bad situation. It's really bad. And Kyrie's name was all over it. And then he lost the sneaker deal and all he had was basketball. But the evolution of Kyrie Irving this post.
Yeah, Kyrie lost a lot of money because he basically posted a documentary that basically was telling people that black people are the real Jews, and the people that are looked at as the Jews today aren't the original Jews. So he ended up losing his Nike deal. He got suspended, and basically the Brooklyn Nets owner basically tried to make Kyrie apologize, and he basically tried to make Kyrie do a bunch of things that a lot of people felt like was unfair. And Kyrie ended up coming back later on in the season, but he also missed a lot of games because he wasn't vaccinated. He didn't want to get vaccinated, right? Which is understandable, because it turns out the vaccine fucked a lot of people up. And because of that, I think he was only allowed to play away games. So he missed a bunch of games. James Harden ended up requesting a trade, went to the Sixers. And it was a big mess, man. And this guy right here, Stephen A. Smith, he basically was nailing Kyrie to the cross. He was saying Kyrie should retire. He's a bad teammate. He shouldn't be in the NBA. He shouldn't get paid. He was just going at Kyrie's neck. But this same Mr. Potato Head face-ass nigga, Stephen A. Smith, he just gave Aaron Rodgers props for also saying that he didn't want to get vaccinated, and he's still not vaccinated. And Aaron Rodgers was bringing up all the things that the vaccine created. And Stephen A. praised him. Stephen A. said, yeah, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. But, dude, you spent like a whole year just going crazy at Kyrie, bruh, for just not wanting to get vaccinated and just having just being his own man, just having his own thoughts and, being original. So, Stephen A.
season has been nothing short of spectacular. He deserves a lot of credit for it. But that was also what led to Kenny Smith revealing a very private conversation that he had with me about my past critical comments of Kyrie. And I shouldn't say past, because at the time we had the conversation, that's when it was going on, and that's when Kenny Smith called me. Here's what he had to say last night on TNT. We couldn't play the sound, but here's the quote. At one time, Stephen A. was an advocate about having a battle with Kyrie Irving. I had to call Stephen. I'm like, this guy's from my neighborhood. I named like 6 people and I said, Stephen A., those people mentored you. They mentored him. So when you say something about him, you're actually saying it about us. And he said, I understood. Charles Barkley naturally followed up saying this about Kyrie Irving following Kenny's comments, quote, he self-inflicted himself. Talking about Kyrie. He got to take some responsibility. I think he's grown up. I think he's matured. Stephen A. and other people criticized him. He rightly deserved it. You can't go out there and be anti-Semitic. He deserved the criticism he got. He deserved.
When was he anti-Semitic? You see, like, you still got niggas still painting this false narrative that's not true. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic at all. He reposted a documentary that people felt was anti-Semitic, but a lot of people didn't feel like it was anti-Semitic. As a matter of fact, the place that owns the documentary is Amazon, and the owner of Amazon himself said that the documentary wasn't anti-Semitic, and he reiterated that he wasn't going to remove the documentary from Amazon because he doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it. So if you're going to be mad at Kyrie, be mad at the owner of Amazon at the time who had no problem with it, that said it wasn't anti-Semitic as well. You understand what I'm saying? All of these people made it seem like Kyrie reposted like the worst shit possible. Bro, the web's still up. The documentary's still there. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic. He didn't say anything about Jews at all. He just was basically posting a documentary of somebody that feels like the actual Jews are black people. That's it. That's all he did. That's all the nigga did, bro. So, like, stop painting this false narrative.
He got. But as a basketball player, I think he's really grown up, end quote. Let me say this. Both of them are right. Tackling Charles Barkley first. Kyrie did deserve to be criticized at the time that he was being criticized. And it's our job to tell a story. And that's what I did. When it was happening, I spoke about what was happening. So Charles Barkley's right about that. But nobody's more right than my brother Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith did call me. And when Kenny Smith called me, he spoke to me and he reminded me of guys. He mentioned 6 guys. I'll give you 3 of their names. One was Rod Strickland, former NBA player, spectacular point guard out of DePaul University and stuff like that. Rod Strickland is the godfather of the Kyrie Irving. Another person was Gary Howard, Gary D. Howard to be exact, former deputy sports editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer, who was responsible for getting me there. When I was a high school reporter for the New York Daily News, he was the one responsible for getting me the college job at the Philadelphia Inquirer. He's also the former executive sports editor for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. At the time that Gary Howard was the executive sports editor there were 4 and ultimately reduced to 2 executive sports editors in the country, despite there existing hundreds of newspapers. Only about 2 were black. Gary Howard was one of them. He's a Bronx native. He's very, very close to Dedrick Irving, Kyrie's father. They grew up together, knows him well. Gary Howard is also a friend and a mentor of mine. The other dude was Reggie Howard that Kenny Smith was alluding to. Reggie Howard is Gary's brother. Coaches a lot of youth in the Bronx. Very respected. Street dude, very connected, the whole bit. And all of them talked to me. And they weren't disagreeing with what I was saying. But they were addressing the fervor with which I talked about Kyrie. And
you talked about Kyrie like a white man that wants Kyrie back in slavery, bro. Like you talked about Kyrie like he's out here committing like violent crimes or out here like, you know what I'm saying? Like you literally tried to destroy this man's character and reputation simply because he didn't want to inject himself with something that he didn't feel was safe, which turned out to not be safe. It's evidence that it wasn't safe. You like, bro, like you tried to get this man like damn near banned from the NBA because of that, bro. And you always talking about black this, black that, but you didn't do that to Aaron Rodgers, who actually lied about getting vaccinated. You didn't talk about Aaron Rodgers like that. You never keep that same energy for non-black people, bro. You always come at black people like crazy, bro. Just like you tried to get Russell Westbrook suspended because he had a couple rough fouls against the Mavericks. Like, nigga, this is sports. This is basketball, bro.
Really didn't see it
But
that
you
way.
but you but you didn't talk about Mike Malone walking up to one of the referees screaming at the top of his lungs like he was gonna fight him. You didn't even mention that on First Take. I watched First Take just to see if you was gonna talk about it. Of course you didn't talk about it. Typical Stephen A. Smith, bro. And he wonders why people don't like him. Like, bro, you're a fucking
I felt
dude,
like I had looked out for Kyrie Irving on many, many occasions
no, you didn't.
until I couldn't, and
No,
then I felt that his attitude towards
No,
me.
you didn't. You're lying. You didn't look out for Kyrie for shit. You're lying, bro. That's why your hairline's so far back. It's like every time you lie, the hairline goes back an inch, bro. You're lying, bro. You didn't look out for nothing.
Had changed, and it felt like betrayal. I let that go, but then when his father, I felt, came at me the wrong way, I reacted like I react.
It's odd how, in an instant, things can transform, slipping out of balance into free fall.
The stock market is now down 23%.
This is happening, people.
Where there are so few certainties.
I ain't backing up. And it wasn't until Kenny Smith placed that call to me that I had to look at myself differently. Because he reminded me of those numerous people that raised Kyrie. They also influenced me. And when I talked about Kyrie in the fashion that I talked about him, it wasn't just a reflection on him, it was a reflection on them. And when I looked at it that way, it gave me cause to pause. And then I remembered having an argument on First Take on ESPN with Jay Williams. And Jay Williams wasn't even attacking what I said. He was attacking the energy and how I said it.
Bro, you was barking at Jay Williams, bro. You was over talking him. You was belittling him, bro. You were being an absolute piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing, bro. Like the thing I don't like about Stephen A. Smith is he feels like you can't correct him. He feels like every thought that he has is the truth. He feels like he's always right. Like, it's the same. That's why Max Kellerman got fired, bro. Max Kellerman, there was a lot of situations where Max Kellerman was actually like, checking Stephen A. and even correcting him with facts, and Stephen A. would get mad. And he basically got Max Kellerman fired from First Take because of that. And this guy just has a big ego, man. He has a huge ego, bro, and I understand why. I mean, First Take has been number one. Ever since it's been number one for like, 10, 12, couple years. And, I get why Stephen A. Smith has a big ego, and I get why Stephen A., acts how he acts. But, I mean, bro, like, you got to be humble, man. You're not a humble guy, man. Like, you just be wilding the fuck out, bro. For real, for real.
About that. And I said, damn, you got a point. And then I ran into Kyrie. And we were at the Crypto.com arena, and Kyrie came up behind me, touched me on the back, and said, yo, bro, at this point, it ain't even about us. It's about you and my dad and the way y'all been going at each other. And y'all got me caught in the middle of it. And when he said that to me, it hit home. I picked up the phone, live from the Crypto.com arena, sitting baseline, and I texted his dad and asked his dad to meet with him. And his dad, being the class act that he is, agreed to meet with me in New York City a few weeks later. We met, we talked, Both of us apologized to each other for how we construed how one was coming at the other, etc., and we've been cool ever since. And when Kenny Smith brought that story up yesterday, it reminded me of the role that I play, the responsibility that I have, and I'm not one that usually gives a shit what anybody thinks.
Kenny Smith milked the head ass nigga.
I stand on what I stand on. I feel the way that I feel because I pride myself in being man enough to acknowledge when I'm wrong if I think I'm wrong because I think it's rare.
Bruh, y'all hear how stupid this nigga is? I pride myself in being a man and admitting when I'm wrong, even though when I'm wrong is rare. You see how big this man's ego is? Bruh, how old Stephen A is like what in his 60s? Stephen A, you acting like a fucking child, bro. Everybody is wrong, bro. Being wrong is actually a normal thing. That's not rare. There's plenty of times I've been wrong, bro. Now, sometimes you may not realize you're wrong until you think about it, right? You may not realize you're wrong about something until a week later or a day later, shit, a year later. But you're not gonna be right about everything. It's like making a prediction. You know how many times Stephen A. Smith has made a prediction on a football game or an NBA playoff series and he was wrong? Stephen A., you're wrong all the time, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I guess because you're so successful at ESPN and shit, bro. Nobody will tell you this. Let me tell you this, my nigga. You're wrong all the time, bro. You being wrong is a normal thing, right? It's just your ego is so big that you don't like to admit when you're wrong. That's what it is, bro. You're kind of like a narcissist, bro. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, bro. It's okay, bro. Come on, leave that to women. Women feel like they're never wrong at all. You're a man. Act like a man, bro. I shouldn't be 27 years old telling you this, bro. I can't believe you would say something so ignorant. I feel like I'm rarely wrong. Like you Jimmy Neutron or something, nigga. Fuck out of here, bro. You in sports, bro. Sports analysts is wrong all the time. We all make predictions about a game and we're wrong. Fuck out of here, bro. I'm rarely wrong. Like you went to Harvard or some shit.
And for Kenny Smith to tell me that.
You're goofy, bro.
It hit home in a big way because we go back more than 30 years. And I can count on two figures how many times
Stephen A. So what you're basically saying is if Kenny Smith never called you and told you was wrong about nailing Kyrie Irving to the cross, you would have never apologized. That is sad, bro. That is sad. So if anybody else, you're basically saying if anybody else would have told you, because people been telling you was wrong. Kenny Smith ain't the first person to tell you was wrong about you saw Jay Williams was telling you was wrong, and you was talking crazy. So the fact that Kenny the Jet Smith, if he didn't tell you was wrong, you would have never admitted it, bro. You got issues, man. You're a narcissist, bro. You're too big-headed. You're way too big-headed, bro. You're way too big-headed, bro. That's sad, bro.
And so, friendship, his brotherhood.
I'm still waiting on the apology. I still haven't heard you apologize to Kyrie because you clearly put, I apologize to Kyrie. I'm still waiting for you I'm still waiting to hear it. This apology don't sound sincere.
Means a lot to me, but it also reminded me of the brotherhood of all of those that mentored and have been there for Kyrie. And it reminded me of somebody like my colleague at ESPN, Jay Williams. I love Jay. But we definitely don't see eye to eye on a few things. But damn it, when he's right, he's right. And he was right.
You didn't fire him like you fired
I didn't think he was right at the time. But when you reflect sometimes and you see things for what they are, you got to man up and accept it. And that's what I wanted to do. And so I'm glad that Kenny Smith told that story. I'm glad that he said what he said because it was 1,000% accurate in the exact context that he said he spoke to me. He absolutely, he said it 100% on point. I've been pissed a lot lately for having my words misconstrued, for people using it for clickbait, just to interpret me saying something that I didn't say because I know what the hell their agenda is. But Kenny Smith didn't do that. And I really appreciate it. And I think that it's made me better because of it. I'm not going to be perfect, But if I think I'm right, I'm not backing up. And if I'm wrong, I will back up and I'll confess to it publicly. And I think the other thing that I wanted to speak about was Draymond Green. But I'll speak about that a little bit later on in the show. Because the subject that's just as important to get to is Jaylen Brown. Now, I've made news over the last few days.
I'm done. Bro, y'all see what I'm talking about, bro? You didn't apologize, bro. You about to switch subjects. You did not apologize to Kyrie. Nobody cares if you called Kyrie directly or texted him, bro. The same way you slandered Kyrie publicly for like 2 years straight, 3 years straight, saying he should retire, saying that he's this and that. You need to apologize for real, bro. You didn't apologize here on the Stephen A. Smith show. You didn't apologize on First Take. Bro, if you're going to apologize, bro, either do it the right way or don't apologize at all, because this is coming off as fake. This ain't no real apology, bro. This is you just looking for sympathy because people been calling you out for your shit. You got called out by Isaiah Thomas. Shout out to the legend Isaiah Thomas from the Bad Boy Pistons. You got called out from Draymond Green. You got called out from Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Bro, you're just looking for sympathy, bro, because everybody's coming at your neck, bro. You didn't apologize to Kyrie. Now you're talking about a whole different subject. You did not apologize, bro. This guy's a clown, man.